Good morning, everybody, and a happy Tuesday morning to you. All right, this time we just have the one video. So we have the royal family news, and then we're going into Invictus again. There's even more, as if that's even possible. Day 2 of Invictus, which took place on the day of the Super Bowl. I know. There's a lot to cover. Let's jump in. Let's get there. Let's go. I'm starting off by saying a big thank you to Alina in Scotland who sent me this fabulous magazine and this wonderful note. Thank you so much. Also, a big thank you to a different Sue for sending the greenies for Finn to help keep his teeth clean and the hair clips that were on my Amazon wish list. Thank you so much. And talking of Finn, I just wanted to show you what a carefree life he had. He was sleeping on the couch. I just thought that was hilarious. His little paws kept moving like he was dreaming. All right, let's move into our royal stuff to start with. On February 8th, Sophie and Edward's trip was coming to an end, and the two of them visited the Annapurna Conservation Area in Nepal as part of their official trip. Now, that range is part of the Himalayas. It's less than 200 miles from Mount Everest, and the region has very historic links to the Gurkhas. A little background information for you. This mountain is 26,545 feet tall. It is the 10th highest peak on Earth, but the overall conservation area covers just a little under 3,000 square miles near to Nepal's border with Tibet. In my opinion, the view's enough would be, the view there would be just enough to make you climb the mountain. Unfortunately for me, as most of you know from my accident, that kind of climbing would be out for me, which is a real shame because I think I might enjoy something like that. I could go down, I just couldn't go up. By the way, the two of them said that they're still best friends after 25 years of marriage. I think that's lovely. Now, the next day, on the 9th, the two of them really immersed themselves in the Nepalese culture. They had some bright flower garlands on, and they went to visit the Gurung Community Center and Museum in a hill village. This took place on their 6th day. This would be the last day. Now, this village apparently has historic links to the British Army, and a lot of the people, the Gurkhas, are from that area. I'm sure you all must have noticed the amount of garlands that they had on, and that's because the locals, as these two were walking through, kept putting garlands on them, like constantly. Could you imagine? So they get in there and they sit down after receiving such a wonderful welcome. There were instruments played, and of course, again, the garlands, lots of garlands. They also gave them some colorful robes to put on their ensembles. Now, of course, they did tour the museum as well, which has historic Gurkha links. There were a lot of interesting artifacts in the museum. I'm not putting all the pictures in here. There was just so much. But Edward and Sophie were obviously very animated and interested in a lot of the stuff that was in there. There was a lot of really interesting stuff in there. And of course, eventually it became time to leave. They went to the airport. They took all of the obligatory photos, gave both of them beautiful bouquets of flowers, and the two of them headed off back to the UK. I'm really glad that the media is covering them. I feel like they deserve to be covered, but up until recently, they really weren't. So I'm glad they're covering them. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us what they were wearing on this last day. Let's move on. I really like this story. The castle's gardens at Balmoral Castle have been developed and expanded. And so now King Charles has a new and improved garden, and he's going to open it to the public on April 1st. Pretty cool. There is a new thistle maze, Celtic maze garden, and new plantings of trees, shrubs, and a topiary. And also the exhibition, they're saying, is going to continue in the ballroom, showcasing the history of the castle. Love it. Moving on. Princess Anne is next. She attended the Guinness Six Nations Rugby Championship match between Scotland and Ireland at Murrayfield Stadium. This took place on February 9th, and after the match, she presented the trophy to Ireland's number 8, Caelan Doris, I believe is how you say his name. Congratulations. By the way, the score was 32-18. Ouch. All right, moving on. Sticking with Princess Anne, she helped open the new sensory room. I think that's really cool. It's a room for inclusive and accessible environments. It opened in Edinburgh. There was a funding boost of £9,000. So this is a quieter, supportive space for rugby fans who are overwhelmed by all the noise, like my son with the autism. I love this. All right, moving on. All right, next up, people are really thinking that there definitely is something wrong in Harry and Meghan's marriage because the way Meghan is behaving, she's doing this date night behavior rather than professional behavior. She's giggling and squealing and breathless, and she can't just sit there. She has to cling onto his arm and hold his hand, and everybody's like, okay. And the gazing, remember, we've been seeing that gazing. If anything, people are really, really concerned now about the state of this marriage. All right, really quickly, some more pictures came out from day one. You know, they're kind of trickling, and I wanted to put them out there just so you could see them before we move on to what all went on day two. Also from day one, and these are the kinds of things that upset me. You see this picture, Harry's meeting this little girl. It looks like there's some awards being given out. But what does mainstream media report on? Meghan's go-to coat brand. You get it? All right, now, Meghan's already having a problem here. We know that she put up that video dancing by herself, and there was Harry dancing a jig, and they had gone to talk to the Canada team. They had breakfast with them before the official start of the games. So people were talking about how in the video, Meghan, mid-conversation, there was a team member, and she was talking, sitting in a wheelchair, and she stopped mid-conversation because Meghan pulled her wheelchair back in preparation for a picture. And the incident really upset people who said, you know, my daughter's in a wheelchair and someone else trying to move it is a big no. The wheelchair is an extension. Meghan is in this girl's personal space. It came off as rude and disrespectful. I totally agree. She was in the middle of a conversation there. Ugh. Also, some information came out about the arena that they were in that everybody thought was so packed. Apparently, no. Now, as far as the actual Invictus games goes, if it wasn't for Invictus posting stuff on Twitter, I wouldn't even know what was going on because mainstream media is not covering this. So they had an Invictus game basketball match, but nobody would have known about it because mainstream media was doing this. Meghan Markle was doing a children's story time. So she puts this thing up on her Instagram. Her whole Instagram now seems to be, I don't even know. Anyway, you see the two of them aren't touching. They're not holding hands for one. They're keeping things a little bit professional. And she gets there. So what's the first thing that happens? Harry gets up, picks up a book, hands it to her and says, read this one, Meghan. And it's some children's book. I couldn't even tell you. So what does Harry do then? Well, Harry does what Harry does best. He goes over and pops a squat with the children over to the side where he belongs, over with the kids. So there's Harry over to the right, like a good little boy, sitting while his pseudo-mommy reads a story to all the kids. Now, when that's done, she proceeds to talk to the kids about the snow, and I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. Why aren't her kids there? But once again, this just proves what I'm saying. Once again, she's using other people's children for PR and photo ops. Now, at some point, the Australian team hands Harry a Speedo. That's right, they hand him a Speedo. And one of the kids, are you guys ready for this? One of the kids actually says to him, put it on your head. I swear to God, the kid says, put it on your head, Harry. And so Harry's like, yeah, it's always you guys. Now, Meghan's sitting there in the back, realizing that the attention is no longer on her. I don't think she's very happy. But then do you see where she is, the kids? The kids are like, here, let us do something with you. So I have the video of that. Here you go, from a different angle, a little closer up. You see that? And then here it is from a different angle because the kids nobody's paying attention to Meghan anymore. They're all looking at Harry. Afterwards, they do some arts and crafts with the kids. Meghan needs to work a little bit on the eyelash. The glue there, her eyelash is actually coming off. She doesn't do well, in my opinion. This is just my opinion with the one-on-one with the kids. I feel like she sees them as props, if that makes sense. She pulls the kid over, takes the picture, lets him go. The kid walks up and her attention is right on with the next child. Again, just my opinion, but I feel like she doesn't know what she's doing. She's picking up stuff. It's not what the kid wants. She's like trying to hand the kid a glue stick. The kid doesn't want it. You guys know what I'm saying. It's photo ops with other people's children. Now, one of the other things that happened that kind of really caught my attention was what happened as they were leaving. Okay, so she's trying to get out the door. She's taking another selfie with somebody. Lots of selfies with the kids. But this one picture really caught my attention. You know why? If you look at her wrist, she's got like 5 or 6 bracelets on. It's like, let me dangle my gold. Now, here's the next thing that happened. Harry and Meghan go to watch wheelchair basketball. But there's no pictures from wheelchair basketball really in the article. All the pictures are about Harry and Meghan and how some children wandered over and the children were in awe of them and how sweet they were with the children. Blah, blah, blah. The funny thing is, when you look at the video, the children were drawn to Harry. They were talking to Harry. Meghan attempted to talk to the kids. The kids didn't want to talk to her. That's very obvious in this video. Truth be known, when I'm looking at this video, I feel like the kids are bothering her, distracting her. It's not going well. She wants the kids to go away. You guys know what I'm saying? She's like looking to the right, trying to act like she's watching the game. She's really not watching the game because I don't think she's interested in really, to be honest, in any of the competitions. I'm sure you guys noticed, Meghan's face. Here's a few more pictures. Those children were not the least bit interested in her. They were focused on Harry. They wanted to talk to Harry. They did not want to talk to her. She is not maternal. Children are not drawn to her. I'm sorry, they're just not. Now, a few more pictures came out of Meghan sitting there, showing off her ring. She's got the rictus grin. She's trying to show everybody how happy she is, and she's following everything that's going on. She's always smiling, even when it's not appropriate, because she wants every picture to have her with a smile on her face. Now, some other pictures came out. Harry, in a lot of these pictures, does not look happy. I would think, if I didn't know better, that they had been fighting. When the game was over and they were done with all of this, then it was time to go around and the PR push with everybody there, taking selfies, hugging people, having small talk, taking pictures with other people's children, the usual stuff, because, we're so fabulous. You guys get what I'm saying? You guys know exactly what I'm saying. And I couldn't help but notice the Nigerian team. I feel sorry for them. After all that attention that they got at the last Invictus games, she's 43% Nigerian and she hung out with the team and she signed their flag and all the stuff she did with them. And this year, they're just kind of left in the dust. One more thing I need to point out. You see this lady to the left behind Meghan? You recognize her? We all know that Harry and Meghan don't speak out against the Sussex squad. We all know that she's paying them, or it's alleged that she's paying them. But you see the woman behind her? Gee, there she is outside of the One Young World event. Gee, there she is. She was in Nigeria with them. Gee, there she is at Invictus, Germany. Gee, there she is at St. Paul's Cathedral. Gee, there she is with Omid Scooby-Doo. And we all know that Meghan refuses to speak out against them, attacking, William and his family. That's because, in my opinion, they're on the payroll. I, for one, would like to know what that woman does for a living, if people are going to say that Harry and Meghan aren't paying for her, and how did she get that close to Meghan? Now, a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for this. We know that last time Meghan herself was texting the paparazzi or whoever and telling them what she was wearing, but this time, these articles seem to have the information on clothing that Meghan is wearing that you can't even see. So the merching is big. I'm sure that she gets some sort of a percentage of whatever is sold, because that's how this kind of stuff works. Shameful. Personally, I just think it's ridiculous that she's able to wear all this super expensive clothing and she can't wear one stitch of Invictus gear. In other words, it's good enough for other people, but just not for her. It's another fashion parade. We've seen this. She's done this before. I mean, oh, she wears a charcoal blazer for a chic sports system. Nobody's talking about the clothes, what's going on, just the clothing. All right, now I want to let you guys know what happened when Harry and Meghan met the French team. I'm not sure why they're doing this, but first off, as you can see, she pushes Harry in front of her so that he can meet the official first. Some habits never change. Then after they shake hands, for some unknown reason, Meghan does the seal clap, all right? Then they start going down the line together very quickly, in case you guys didn't notice. Hello, 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 hello. All right. So then she did a very quick down the line, hello, shake, hello, shake, hello, shake. No personal conversations, no nothing. It's just down the line as quickly as possible. And then she turns around and heads for Harry. So they give Harry a gift. And as you can see, Harry is having a conversation with this woman and Meghan is listening and making comments and going, really? And she's laughing and she's trying to act like she's part of this conversation when she absolutely is not. This is all for Harry. And she's just like standing there. Now, it's at this point that Harry holds his prize up in the air and Meghan's doing the seal clap again. Like, what the hell is that? Then she touches him again. Oh, Harry, you got a shiny new toy. And notice that she will not take her hand off of him. Her hand stays on his back. Now, I'm zooming in here because there was something wrong with the back of Meghan's head. Look at the hair. Now, I slowed this down too. First of all, look at the back of Harry's head. He's completely bald. Second of all, look at Meghan's face. She's like, I'm done with this conversation. She's looking at Harry, and then she looks up, sees the camera, boom, smile, right back on the face. I can't even tell you anymore what the rest of this is, but essentially they're going through, they're speaking to the French team, and then they're just leaving and going on to whatever event they're going to. I believe that they were headed to the wheelchair basketball game at this point, is what I'm assuming, because she's wearing that outfit and she only wears one outfit to each event. Those were the pictures that were taken of her in this outfit. But basically, I feel like she's there just to take a bunch of selfies with people. I don't feel like anything is really hot. You guys know what I'm saying? Anyway, they took a bunch more selfies. Then Harry takes her hand and walks her off. And it's time for them to go and watch the game that nobody else is reporting on. It's really quite sad. To do, hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Don't forget the thumbs up, and then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Amazon wish list, my link to Finn's channel, my link to my father's book, which is still up for sale. And for those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.